though I understand, but I at the same time feel kind of lost for what to ask. But I feel like it's a slightly still some kind of disconnect for me.
Mm.
Just slightly. I feel like it's something I missed that I maybe didn't grasp all the way, but like I understand it, so I'm not really sure what that is.
Well, I think one thing to acknowledge, I forget who I talked to about this, but at the end of the day, these are theories that got to be put into practice. And life ain't perfect. And that's a gap between like theory and practice. So like there's a lot of people I teach alongside of at Butler that never have actually had a business. But they can teach me the business model and the nuances and the theories behind a business model and the business model canvas and branding and all the marketing theories, the 4 pieces. They can do all that like really well. They write papers on it and they sell it and they go to conferences to present. But if I put them in front of a fish, like that needed food, like they couldn't get the food to the fish. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't do the most basic thing that's required that what it is that we do. And part of what I'm saying is all this is great. And this is excellent education to have. But if you can't put each and every one of these specific steps into your situation, at the end of the day, it ain't about none of this. It's about your ability to win. And winning for you may be different than winning for her or winning for her, because all of y'all in whole different situations. But it's about winning. And what does winning mean for you? And as long as it's wise and it's intentional, then let that be your win. And if this lesson is what does it for you, then let it do that. And if it's the one that we had 2 weeks ago, then let it do that. Or if it's the one that we have 6 months from now, let it do that. But what I do know is that in my own experience, and in now studying this as an academic discipline, in addition to being a, whatever term we're going to use to be able to describe where I'm at right now, these things matter. And it may just take time to be able to hit. And me explaining it in my words may be part of the reason why it's confusing. But you know, how you going to make this your own? You know, because what I do know is you can sell water to a fish. What I do know is, because I'm about to wear your shirt. You see what I'm saying? And so I know you're great at what you do. That's not the question. So if you're not able to understand whether or not you're an oligopoly or a monopolistic, sister, you selling T-shirts. And you're going to continue to be able to sell these shirts.
Yeah.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah.
And that's landing my plane. Going back to the piece that was mentioned over here, like sometimes the barriers to us, to our own success, isn't anything but like ourselves, because we were able to convince ourselves that we shouldn't be where we're at. When the balance sheets and the profit and loss statements are telling us that you're doing great, but we still think that something has to be wrong. But that's the beauty in. But
I do that all the time.
yeah, I do too.
My own worst critic. I swear I am. Because then you see me do that first pitch at the end of the morning, or were you at the second one?
I was at the second one. No, I was in both.
Because that first one was terrible. Everybody's like, you didn't do that bad. But I'm like, yeah, I'm literally the bathroom crying.
But you were struggling in the second one, sis. Don't
Girl,
you
because
struggle.
I've been practicing. That was like my 7th or 8th time doing it then at that point. But, you know, it killed my soul, my pride the first time. Because I'm like, I mean, I'm a person that got up and sang, and, you know, in front of people. Like, I do all these public speaking. I'm like, how the heck did I take this? Like, it was just, like, I could not wrap my mind about it the first time. But, you know, like I said, that is something I do got to work on. Because I be beating myself up. And I be like, I get perfectionist when it comes to something I really, truly care about. And I get to be a crybaby. I ain't gonna lie. Now, you see me anytime, I'm gonna be straight on my G status. I'm gonna tell you I'm a gangster. But I'm a crybaby too, y'all. So I get passionate about stuff. I care. You know, I got a tough outer shell. I said all that just to say I'm my own worst critic. I do. And I'm working on being a little more patient with myself. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's good.
So.
And thank you for being honest and sharing that. Because I can't speak for nobody else, I can speak for myself. I'm the same way. And that's part of the reason why I appreciate the space. Because I think, and again, being true, it's just me and you talking. Sister, I think I have so many second guesses about myself every day. Like I don't believe in the spirit of fear, but I still fright. Now I'm tripping up on my words. When I trip on my words, I'm getting nervous. But one of my greatest points of anxiety is people call me a fraud. and they say, oh, he was all this and he was all that. And then he turned out to be just, because I care so much about being genuine with people. And I see how God continues to bless me. And the way the devil works, you know how it works?
Yep.
You keep getting better and better. You keep higher and higher. And so instead of appreciating the view from a new level, you're scared of how hard the fall going to be. And you know what, at the end of the day?
Woo.
At the end of the day, look, at the end of the day, if I'm going to fall, then I'm going to appreciate how high I was. You see where I'm coming from? And that's the beauty. That's the beauty in the struggle. That's the ugliness in the success. If I'm going to fall, this is going to be the flyest fall you ever seen in your life. Because if I'm going to hit the ground regardless, at least I could, as I'm falling to my death, I can appreciate the blessings of what I once had. And then when I get consumed in the fact that I'm high in the sky, appreciating stuff I ain't never seen before, that's the blessing. That's the blessing. And I'm sharing that with you because that's real. That's no oligopoly. That's not monopolistic competition. That's me being honest with you. I can make $20-something thousand this month. I remember when I didn't eat for days in the last 12 months. I prayed for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that so I could, but for real, and even with that, knowing a year ago, I didn't have $20 to my name, account overdrawn for more than 20 days, and I brought in $20,000 this month, and the devil still think he can, come on, G. And the beauty in it is nobody would even know that, what you talking about, but I can share that with you because it's real. That's a mother freaking fact. So I hear you. I empathize with you there. But you here. And that's the best that we can do.
Thanks.
Okay. Night, night. Who gonna do that?